Right, bear with everybody. I'm not entirely sure if this is a problem on my side or if the lobby's gone, so I've messaged the lads and oh, we've moved. But what is going to happen? How many people? Okay. Now there's been a few problems because a few names have left. I'm just running my. Okay, we're all good. Westy's just gonna rejoin the session. Okay, cool. So we're back tonight. Special event. The first round. Whether it's the first round, I don't know, but it's the first event of the Nations Cup tonight. We've got a full grid of 20 drivers across 4 teams. RPM is covering Team Europe. We have a team from Italy, Greece, and some boys in Ukraine as well. All with some fairly fruity liveries, I must say. They're all very patriotic. You cannot really go wrong. The nice red, not red, sorry, blue of Greece, blue and white, blue and yellow of Ukraine, and then a bit of white and green for Italy, and the RPM boys in a red and black livery. I can see the numbers racking up in the stream, which is good. Some guys from all divisions, I would imagine, turning up to support the boys tonight. Obviously, we don't have any team allegiance tonight. It's all just for Team RPM, which is good to see. We can all get behind the 5 elected drivers from the team: Westy, Entity, Jones, Colin and Backer, and we'll see how those guys get on. So we've got half the drivers heading round through the middle sector now, so I'm going to try and join on with a couple of the guys. I want to get a decent spread of a decent spread of drivers, but obviously we want to highlight our boys more so tonight, at least in the opening rounds of qualifying. But nevertheless, let's see who's heading round first. It's one of the Ukraine drivers, I think. It's obviously very, very difficult to pick out who is on a hot lap because they're all just the same colour, pretty much. It seems as though the Greek boys and the Ukraine boys are both blue. Obviously a different shade, but not so easy to make up. At least we know that our guys are all the black drivers. So back around Bahrain then. Been a couple of weeks more since we were last here in our own league. I wouldn't say it's one of my personal favourite tracks, but nevertheless, we watch on and see what the first time is to be beaten. Now I want to see who this is out of our boys, just behind this driver, setting off on his lap. It looks like it's Jones. So let's watch on with Jones and see how he gets on as he heads through the second sector. Just going through turn 8 now, approaching turn 9, the difficult braking zone, one of the hardest on the calendar, especially if you're driving without anti-lock brakes. So easy to drift out to the right hand side and invalidate the lap. He's kept it tidy though. We've got an issue in sector 3, just a slow moving car, no incidents yet and no time posted yet, but I believe one of the I think it's the Ukraine of crossing the line now. I'm going to have to find a way to differentiate between those 2 shades of blue. One is definitely lighter than the other. I'm just not sure which one is which. There we go. So the Greek guy, Spanias, has allotted a 1:28.002, nearly a dead lap, which is always very satisfying. 1:28 on the left. Let's see where Jones can post. Colin, as expected, goes a 10th clear, and Jones separates the Greek drivers and the Ukraine drivers. Let me just make sure that green is Italy before we go any further. They're all in the pit lane. This guy, yeah, that's definitely the Italian drivers. Okay. And let's see here, they're both Ukraine. He's Ukraine, he's Ukraine. So the lighter shade of Ukraine, that shade of blue, sorry, is Ukraine, or is that Greece? Oh dear God. Okay, dark blue is Ukraine and light blue is Greece. Now I'll probably forget that but nevertheless, all the times are being posted now. Colin leads on provisional pole with a 127.9 and something around a 7/100th gap to P2. All of the Greek guys there taking the next 5 positions on the grid, rounding up by Bakker just over a second behind Colin, with most of the Italian drivers yet to set a lap, and this guy's on his. So I think most drivers are going to be coming back in. Let's see if Entity is starting or finishing. He's finishing a lap. Perfect timing. Let's see if he can put himself into the top 10. No, he can't. 14th to 130.9. There's plenty of improvements there, and I believe everyone else is coming into the pits. There's an Italian driver who may be about across the line, or no, that must be this guy who's also coming into the pits. So first round done for the majority of these drivers. Let's keep an eye on this Ukrainian driver as he heads out on his first out lap. I'm going to have to try and familiarise myself with most of these names, but we know we're here for the RPM guys. I don't think a first name basis is needed for every single driver. Ranello, Favilla, Salieri, Piusti at the bottom there. Nakudza. I'm butchering half of these, aren't I? Renner. I'm not even going to try that one. Vova. Sassimoni? Yeah, that sounds about right. G-Max, Ku, Boba Fed, that one's easy. Alex, Nick, Spanias. Okay, most of them are fine. So we need to get some drivers in the top 7 there. We can't have all of those spaces being taken up by the Greek drivers. So let's hope that a couple of our guys can cause a bit of an upset and put themselves in between there. I'm going to get the stream open and see what you guys have to say, see who we've got watching on. Currently 15 of you guys, which is always good to see. Yes, I love to see the RPM support. No more of this team support. Everyone just back in the cause. Good to see. And we've even got a couple of the guys from the other divisions as well. I'm seeing some support for the Ukraine drivers in there as well. Okay, good stuff. So we well, this driver's just set the fastest sector 1, so we may as well ride on board for the time being and see where he puts it while some of our drivers make their way around for their second runs. I've got a beer in hand. I'll have a bit of that before it gets too serious later on. I'm going to assume there's no formation lap, given the issues with that. So again, we're going to have a pretty prompt start of the race, which always seems to catch me off guard. Cheers to those in chat who are also enjoying a nice beverage on this Saturday night. Hopefully we'll get a better performance than today. I watched Newcastle United draw with Bournemouth at home, which was horrific, but nevertheless, you know, you can't really, you know, what's done is done, and now we're back on Formula 1, which is the far better sport anyway. Let's have it right. So he crosses the line and puts himself in the top 10, which drops Jones, Westy and Entity down. That was obviously his first run, so he's going to only have time for 1 or 2 more, but the guys that are on the way around now may be able to squeeze in another 2 or 3 if they get a hurry on. I'm going to assume it's Colin who's on his way around. No, it isn't. Okay, it might be Bakker then. Is it Bakker? Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that, the little shark teeth. That's a cool little addition. So let's watch on the first full RPM lap with Bakker. Currently on a 128.9, just shy of the 129s by 3/1000ths of a second, breaking down just after the 100 metre board. Difficult traction zone this. He's short shifted and he wants to cut the curb on the left and get the traction down. He's going to pick up a little bit of a slipstream off his co-partner, of his co-driver there, as he heads just before the 50 metre board, turning in and using all the track on the left, cutting the corner. and carrying as much speed down the hill into what is another difficult braking zone of turn 8. Being steady on the throttle, then getting a foot to the floor. Left hand braking zone, don't want to drift out too far to the wide. He's kept it well on the track. Slightly slow down the mid corner, but he's got a good exit nonetheless. Using all the space available to carry the speed up the hill. And another difficult corner there, so easy to lose the car, just a touch on that inside curb, and you'll easily send the rears spinning around, and you with it. And now as he heads down, is he going to improve? Is he going to put himself any higher up? Let's see. He has. He's shaved a tenth of a second off his time, takes one position up to P7. And Colin is on his out lap. We've got another driver who's just set off on a lap, and it looks as though Jones has finished his lap and may or may not have improved, but hasn't jumped too high up the standings. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for Colin. We'll watch on board with him then and see if he can extend that 1/800th margin any further and keep a hold of pole position. There's a few yellow flags, just cars getting out the way. A lovely bunch, if you see that, coming through turn 8 now. 4 out of our 5 drivers all together on track. Maybe a little slipstream potentially for any drivers starting the lap together. Obviously there's no TAS available, or at least not that I've been made aware of tonight, so we don't have too much information. We can't keep up to date with sector times, so we're just going to watch on board. Colin's there, knocked 1/10 off his previous best, so he's up again, and his counterpart is also on a lap, just ahead of Colin, coming out of turn 11 now. So we'll keep an eye on him on the radar. Yep, there he is, heading at the final corner, sorry, the final straight. He may provisionally take pole, but I think Colin will be able to snatch it straight back off him. Let's keep our eyes on that top right hand corner, see how much time he's shaved when he crosses the sector 2 line, which is upcoming now. Oh, he rides the curb, risky, but it pays off. 2.5 tenths up. So we will beat the newly set pole position time by exactly 1/10. And by the end of this, Colin may well be 2.5, potentially 3 tenths up. Let's see, he's going to get a little drag to the line, which is great. Unintentional by the Italian driver, but he's going to give him a little bit of an extra clip, and Colin goes fastest. 2 tenths quicker with a 1:27.6. Great lap. That will take some beating. We know what Colin's pace is like. Obviously those guys who watch the Premier Division will know, and those that drive in it will be frustrated by his endless winning and endless pole positions, but we love to have him, and we love seeing him on those time trial boards, and obviously taking the front row in these in the Nations Cup, let's say. So we've got 2 of the drivers from our lot heading around now, so we'll keep tabs on them. Is it Backer as well? No, it's Westy and Entity, and Entity is just behind him, also on a lap, so he'll get a little bit of a drag, not much. Let's hope Westy can improve. He needs 3 tenths to get only 1 position, needs half a second for 2. Where's he going to put himself? He hasn't improved, unfortunately. Well, sorry, he did improve his time, but it wasn't enough to improve a position, and Entity behind has gone into pit. We have I think that's Colin just on his in lap. Yes it is, okay. Any drivers hot lapping at the minute? I've got a Ukrainian driver heading round. So that that Greek quintet, the 5 drivers from 2nd all the way down to 6th, holding strong there, their entire force. That'll be difficult for Colin to keep behind, I'm sure, but imagine if he did. Imagine if he fended off 5 cars all sort of helping each other out. You know, I was thinking earlier, if if one driver from another team finds themselves battling with another from their own team, it would be wise to just duck out of the way. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys start the race. If they're extra cautious, it might allow Colin some room to get ahead, and we all know what Colin's like in clean air. Well, even when he's not in clean air, he just gets past you anyway. I think it was close to a 20-second margin he built up during the British Grand Prix on Thursday. And he has obviously that 2/10 margin to the driver behind him, so even on one lap pace, he's still finding time. This guy's improved a hell of a lot. I think I caught an over a second improvement, so let's see. He's on a 1:29.6. Let's see what he can do when he crosses the line. He improves by half a second, but it's not enough to change his position. Oh yeah, I've just seen that comment. We've got Chewbacca and Boba Fett. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. So we've got drivers coming out now for the final runs. 2 minutes of qualifying remaining. Those guys will be looking at the timing sheets and trying to figure out if they can improve, and if they can, where it will put them. Backer, for instance, less than half a tenth. Only a few hundredths away from one position, and 3/10 off 2 positions. As they head out now for the final runs. Now, I don't think this is Backer on a hot lap, but he's not turned off his ERS. We'll watch on nonetheless in case he is on a hot lap, but I didn't see him come out the pits. So let's hope he doesn't run out of ERS by the time he gets there. He's improved by 1,000th of a second through the first sector, so potentially he is on a hot lap. Let's keep going with it. He's going to get a little bit of a tow down the middle straight behind the light blue, which I said was the Greek drivers, weaving in front of him, so he's not going to do him any favours. Two tenths up. That could potentially move Backer up into P8, which would be a great result. And if he gets anything, a lovely drag, look at this, lovely tow. Accidentally by the Greek driver, he won't want to do that, but he's done it nonetheless, and he's going to get another one all the way to the line. This could put Backer up into P7. P6, he improves even more. It's 2 tenths up, and that puts him only a tenth and a half off the top 5, which is a great lap from him. Now, I think the rest of the guys have just started their final flying laps. Westy has remained in the pit lane, and he's not going to get a chance to improve. Entity has come out, and Jones is flying. Colin is also flying, so let's hang on with him, and then we'll catch the rest of the guys. There's a spinner there. One of the Italian drivers has spun, so at least Backer has been able to separate those Greek drivers. However, Ku is on his final flying lap, so he could improve. Obviously we hope he doesn't, but he may well do. So Colin was a tenth and a half up on his previous best in the first sector. He's again going to go even further. Okay, he's lost time, sorry. He's lost time in the middle sector. Now, I'm not sure if that's... Oh, and they've taken pole position, so he really needs to get these final tenths. It's only by, 2 100ths of a second there to Spanias in P1. But let's see then, can Colin take P1? Yes, he does! By 2 100ths of a second, Colin retains pole position. A little scared just at the end there, but of course he came through. Let's quickly get down to the other drivers. Jones, is he going to be able to put himself somewhere? He's used a lot of his deployment. That's going to see him finish in P15. And Entity comes across the line, and he improves and drops Jones down 1 position. At least those guys are starting next to each other on the grid. They can help each other out. And unfortunately, Ku improved to keep the Greek drivers all in sync. So we've got Colin on pole position, surrounded by all of the Greek drivers. Backer rounding off P7, and I didn't see anything else. So we'll soon see when the scoreboard comes up. Good running all around. At least we've got a couple of drivers toward the front of the grid. Unfortunately for the other two guys. Let's have a look then. So the top 10 separated by just over 1 second. And I think there would need to be quite a big improvement by these two drivers. Yeah, 3/10s, not too much they can do. Bahrain's not the best track. If you don't like it, you can't really get too much around it. So that's the best we could have asked for, really, I think, there. From those two drivers, obviously not Premier drivers, so the pace is obviously slightly different to what we'd expect to see from Colin, and only an 18th margin there from P2. So Spanias could have the pace to challenge for the win, but we'll soon see. The support coming in for Colin, which is always good to see. Again, as I alluded to earlier, it will be tough for him to battle against, you know, the mindset. It's all right when you're in a normal race and you're all thinking for yourselves, but when a team are trying to maximise their own points, they're not going to be going too aggressive for each other. They'll probably try and hold the pack up and let Spanias take on Colin. Now, again, I'm ready for no formation lap. We could just be straight underway. I wish there was like a bit of a breather, so, you know, I could like set up the position changes and all that stuff before the race starts, but I might just have to be quick on the draw, because that's the easiest way to tell who's moving around. Absolutely, Richie. Colin will love this. He'll love the idea of having 5 hunters. I mean, I would, but I'm not that quick. He knows he's quick, and he is quick, so he will absolutely relish it 100%. I mean, let's hope he holds on to it, obviously. I think he will, you know. I think he'll hold on to it. Why not? Not sure how much preparation the other teams have done. Okay, here we go then. The lights are on. We've got 5 lights. And the Nations Cup. Oh, it's held for a while there. The Nations Cup is underway. Colin gets away very well. And we've got nearly 5 wide towards the middle of the pack there. Colin goes into turn 1. He's close to Spinias behind, but he keeps in the lead. Gets good traction out the final corner, but it looks like Spinias is going to take him, yes. He's got just slightly better traction. And it looks like Colin's going to try and go around the outside. He may concede the position. He might look for the switchback. Okay, so Spinias leads. The Greek driver takes Colin going into turn 4. Unfortunate. Bakker's had an incident. Unfortunate. There's been a big collision, I think, at the back. Numerous drivers. Let's try and see what's going on. Also, I need to get the positions going because there's too much going on. Let's have a look then. So Bakker and Koo dropped all the way down. A mess going on at the back. Westy's moved all the way up 9 positions from P18 up to P9. So that's a great return for the opening lap for him. Busy there going into turn 9. Bakker needs to be careful. He's in the middle of that pack. Look at all those colours. That looks great, doesn't it? As they head through Sector 2 for the first time. So we've got fairly moderate gaps between the top 6 drivers. Bobber up 3 positions and Neku up 5 positions. And Jones has just conceded a position to Tukalov, we'll call him, Tukalov. Tauchilov, yes. I mean, I should probably put the accent on. And he's taking it back. There's a good battle there. Let's go and see what's going on down there. We've got Bakker and Jones in behind each other. And the drag of the Ukrainian driver is probably going to make a move around the outside. No, he's just dropped back slightly. He was alongside and dropped back. Is he going to dive? No. We've got 3 RPM drivers all next to each other. These guys need to be really careful. Ideally, Entity would let these guys through on the medium tyres. Jones is on the soft tyres. He needs to be let through. I hope the guys realise that and find a good opportunity to let him pass, because he, you know, Entity ahead is going to be holding them all up on those hard compound tyres and will therefore compromise the strategy. Jones is being severely compromised at this point. He's looking to get a switchback. Don't turn in on him. Okay, good. The hard tyres are out the way, which is good. A 1.7 second gap behind Colin now, so he's just got to keep in touch with the leader. and he shouldn't get bothered too much from behind. It looks like it might be a 2-horse race. Obviously safety cars can come out, but at the minute they are extending the gap to the midfield. Wide there from the Italian driver ahead, Renner. So Bakker may look to make a move down the back straight. He may look to make a move right now. He's going to lunge him up the inside. He takes the curb on the inside, and the Italian driver gives him plenty of room. And again, surely now Jones can be let past. Maybe not. I mean, maybe there wasn't too many discussions about this before the race, but if he sees that he's on the soft tyre, we should just let him make the most of that stint. So Westy's holding his own. There's been an overtake there, and they're battling. Oh, and there's contact. He's out. He's not out, but he's spun. And he's going to get himself round, ghosted, thankfully, so no one can collect him. And then there's another Ukrainian driver. So it was an Italian driver and a Ukrainian driver taking each other out. And that is good for us. There's been another incident, I believe, toward the back. Maybe, maybe not. Just some position changes. Ku's dropped all the way down there. Biggest loss, and Westy's the biggest gainer, up 11 positions into P7. Great opening laps from him. Let's see what are the tyres that people have selected. So Entity, the only driver on the hard tyre, so he's gone for the alternate strategy. I respect that. If you can keep up with these guys, that's close to contact there, and he has made contact. I mean, I don't want to be biased, that was avoidable. DRS is opened for all three drivers as they go wheel to wheel down the back straight in towards turn 11 or 10, 11. Side by side, he's not left him much room, and he's spun. Anthony's spun round. He's got to get those hard tyres in good nick, and he's been taken, so that drops Anthony back to the bottom of the grid. Colin is in DRS. He's not going to make a move here, or is he going to make a lunge? A late move. He decides to hold what he's got. Colin's quite good at that, just nothing overzealous, just keeping himself where he is. He knows he's going to get DRS again down this straight. He's looking for a good exit, both on the medium compound tyre. And yeah, sorry, earlier I said Entity was the only guy on the hards. I meant the only guy on the alternate strategy from our group. Obviously most of the front runners there, Alex, Nick, G-Max and Moni, Sasha Moni on the hards as well, which, like I say, you know, it's alright if you can get away and you can keep up with the pace. Then you come out from the pits and you don't have freezing cold tyres. I mean, I hate coming out of the pits on hards because I feel like they're just so much harder to warm up than the medium compound. Two Italian drivers battling there for P16 and P17. for Vella's just overtaken Pisuti. I should just stop, shouldn't I? And that margin really opening up now. Just about as big a gap between first and second as there is, sorry, between second and third as there is fourth and fifth. 3.6 second gap from Alex to Colin and Brunello to Nick. And you'd think Colin might make a move here. He's very close. Within half a second, he's going to get DRS. He's got plenty of VRS to work with. As does Spanias. They're both defending. Sorry, they both have similar pace. And Colin again just going to hold what he has and hold back. So Entity has recovered from that spin. He's taken Nakuda at the back. And then we still have Jones on those soft compound tyres in behind Bakker. You can't quite seem to get a move done. Again, you don't want to lunge on your own teammate, but at some stage those soft tyres need to be used as they were intended to be. Again, Colin just biding his time. There's no need to go overly aggressive on the ERS. There's no need to make any diving moves. He'll make a mistake eventually. Spinias will have a traction issue or a turning issue, and Colin will come along and swoop that up, I'm sure. Keep my eye on the track map. I think Those two Ukrainian drivers getting pretty close together, but no one's going to make a move. So at the minute it looks as though the Greek team hold the most points, with 4 out of the 5 drivers in the top 6 and the other one in 14th. I'm not sure how the point system works, but let's assume it's just the top 10. And it's an easy pass there for one of the Ukrainians on another into turn 1. Tie braking zone, just about gets the car slowed down. Colin is very close. Maybe closer than it looked, actually. Sorry, not as close as it looked. And Westy is currently leading quite a large pack through the midfield from P7, more or less, all the way down to P12. Jones. He's not going to have any ERS. Sorry, he's not going to have DRS or ERS. Actually, I've just noticed he's exposed himself there, and he's going to lose the position. The Italian driver is going to be alongside of him as they go into the braking zone, and he's just about kept it together. He finds himself right up behind the car ahead, nearly losing it there. The tyres just crying out from the lack of grip. He gets a good exit though. He's going to deploy ERS, uses too much curb. He's lost a bit of traction on the way out. He's going to get DRS though. He will probably get the position back down the main straight. Has Colin gone for a move? No, he was within a 10th, but he's had what he's got. Let's see what Westy does. He's completely out of VRS, relying solely on the drag. He's going to make a move, surely. He moves out to the right hand side, applies the brakes. He's going to go deep. Oh, just about. Good overtake. Traction difficult again. Car behind on those hard tyres has got a good exit and will now pick up the DRS once again. To and fro between these two drivers while those behind watch on. Potentially wait for a piece to grab and to take some positions, as is Bakker there hanging on at the back of this pack. There's an incident there. Bob has spun round. He's going to get it going again, and he crosses over at the racing line there. Risky. Obviously he's ghosted, so he won't pick up any... He won't get any damage, but risky to just chuck yourself back on the racing line like that. And he's going to look down to make a move. He's just lost switchback. Maybe, maybe not. Westy hanging on to that position, and the Italian driver doesn't get it done under DRS this time round. Interesting battles all over the field, really. Only a couple of drivers without, with a gap. And that would be Entity and Nukudu at the back. Most of them in a pack of 5, and this bobber's getting very, very close indeed. Colin remains in P2. However, I'm going to ride on board with him now because there's a chance. Again, no short DRS, so not quite close enough. Similar ERS, just differ by 10%. Yeah, Jetfish, good joke there. Exactly, he must be having an off day if he's not leading the Grand Prix. I mean, what is this? And where Jones has picked up a penalty, and Salieri's had a spin, it looks like, coming through turns 5 and 6, I believe that is, off memory. But unfortunately Jones has picked up 3 track limits warnings and has found himself with a 3-second time penalty. Only 2 tenths now. Bakker closing in on the car ahead. You'd think he would put himself in a good position to overtake down the main straight. Pick up P8 once again and close the gap to Westy. Not many drivers with an awful lot of ERS. A lot just using what they've got to stay with the driver in front. Colin again closing, but still not in a position to lunge for a move, but it looks like he's got a decent exit He's closer than he was last time, but this DRS straight isn't very long. You don't really get a decent opportunity to make a move, especially if you're trying to be conservative about it. It looks as though Bakker did pick up that position in the end, and another driver there has made a move past Jones. Unfortunately, he's down to P12 on the soft compound tyres. They'll be heading towards the end of their lifespan now. 9 laps old. He would probably be boxing in the next couple of laps, I would imagine. And Bakker has picked up that position, as we said, and is now chasing Westy both on the medium compound tyre. The gap now 6 seconds to the lead too, getting bigger and bigger every time. And there's an Italian driver, Piusti, has spun going through turns 4, and Entity picks up a position, and Piusti finds himself plumb last for the first time. Where did he start? Oh, he started towards the back anyway, so he's not lost too much, just some time. Cullen then, within half a second, as he opens DRS. Is Spianis defending with the RS? No, he's not. Again, Cullen shouldn't make a move. He'll just hold what he's got. But again, it's a difficult place, like I said last lap round. Unless you get an immaculate exit out of this corner over the opposition, then you're going to struggle to make a move down this straight. Got lots of little packs now. They've decreased from 5. Most of the packs are just 2, maybe 3 drivers. The pack of Bakker, Westy, Sassimoni and Volva is probably the biggest pack we've got going on at the minute. And no moves to be had there, thankfully, on our drivers. There's an issue again. It's another Italian driver. Renner's had a spin. Is Jones going to pick up the position? I think he will. Oh, actually no, it'll be tighter than I think. He might want to make a move for it though, and put 2 of the Italian drivers towards the back. Piusti's pitted. It looks like he'll be going out to the hards. Yes, so he's going to the end of the race, as will most of these drivers when they come into box. Let's see if the leaders stay out. If they choose to come in, I think you can probably get away with at least 3 or 4 more laps on those mediums. Not sure what the deg's like. I don't have the task system running tonight. Colin closing in every lap. He's putting him under pressure. You know, the lead driver, he knows he's in his rear view mirror every corner of every lap, and he has been for the last 11 laps. And he's in territory here, but again he holds what he's got. It's good. It's good driving. And there's another spin. No, it's one of our boys. It's Entity. He picked up a few positions and he's dropped the ball coming out of turn 12. And the rear tyres are lit up and he's just... Obviously he's ghosted, but he's put himself sideways across the track. So not a great run on those hard tyres. Again, you'd want a box, but it would be a wasted strategy if you boxed early, so he's just got to keep going and hope that there's a safety car later in the race to bring him back into contention. If any of you guys in the chat know what the point system is, then please let me know. If it's top 15, or if it's the same as what we do, or if it's just the top 10, then I can actually add a bit of value to these positions. That'll be good. Let's see then. Westy was taken by Sassimoni. I think I missed that one. Although he's created a 1.2 second gap, so maybe it was a little while ago. Maybe it was never like that. And we've got a Ukrainian driver and a Greek driver. So we've got one. There's an issue in sector 2. It's an Italian driver. It's a runner again. These guys at the back really struggling to keep it on the road. So we've got a lovely battle here. Someone from Team Greece, Team Europe, Team Italy, Team Europe and Team Ukraine. And the Ukrainian driver boxes the first of the medium tyres. He's flown towards the pit lane there. Do we not have pit entry penalties on? Is that not a thing? He absolutely bombed towards the pit lane. Anyway, medium tyres off, hard tyres on. He'll look to go to the end on those in the remaining laps. Let's see, we've got, I think that's him just coming out of the pits, isn't it there? Or did he just move over to, no, that is him just coming out of the pits. Again, those hard tyres will be freezing cold, so he needs to get them up to temperature quickly. Westy's moving in behind Ku in the Greek car. Meow. So the Greeks with the majority of the points now, as Colin again, he's moving down turn one. It's the same again. Be interesting to see if these guys box together, or if one of them goes for the overcut. Sorry, the undercut even. You know, that might be something Colin will do. He's we saw on Thursday he set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the last lap of the race on old hard tyres. So he's obviously able to. I think he had a hell of. Oh no! Colin spun. Oh no! I looked away and he spun. That's going to increase the gap. I think it will be wise to pit now, and he's made contact there with Alex, who's passing him around the outside. Disaster. I missed the incident. You guys would have seen it, but I was looking to the side when it happened. I think it would have been on the. Was it on the outside curb going through turn 6? Let's see what you guys are saying about that one. Yeah, it is pretty. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked it. I made a little yeah, you know, it's alright. Can't help it. I mean, they're not exactly V10s, are they? So you can't really, you know, you can't really make the proper noise because no one really impersonates a V6. But yeah, we all love a V10. So let's see what Colin does then. Unfortunately, he's dropped that position and he's dropped 8 seconds behind the leader. Who pits? Will Colin follow? No, he stays out. So he's going to try and take the position back, go for one hell of an in-lap. As Spanias pits then, let's see his pit stop. Nicely done, and gets himself back on track. So Colin provisionally takes P1 in the race again. Obviously he has a big margin to make up. Now I'm not saying it's impossible, but Colin will have to go for one hell of an in-lap here. I think he's probably going to focus on using some of his ERS that he's saved up. Back is pitted as well, so he'll switch over to the compounded tyre. Colin sets the fastest sector 1 of the race on his, what I presume is his in-lap now. I think it was an 8-second margin when he entered the pits. So let's see what he can get that down to. And it'll be interesting to see what the pace difference is in cleaner air, because obviously Colin was with him nip and tongue every single braking zone, pretty much. So that would tell me that Colin's got some more pace in the tank. He was just not too keen on making a risky overtake. So it's not over yet. Absolutely not over yet. We're just approaching the halfway point in the race, so there's still plenty of opportunities for him to catch up with Spanias there. So let's see what he does. Is he going to stay out or is he going to come in? I think it would make sense to come in. Staying out for one more lap. Great, good stuff. Make the most of these tyres that he's got as he sets the fastest lap. He's showing his pace here. Spanias ought to watch out. Those tyres will be up to temperature now that he's about to cross the line for the first time. More cars coming into the pit lane. So unfortunately the rest of our drivers are all outside the top 10. That will obviously be due to the pits, so we'll see where they come out. Let's have a look there. So 6, 7, 8 drivers ahead of our guys are yet to pit. A couple of them have just gone in now. Let's see, Bakker takes 2 of them in the pits, so he's back up to P10, and then there's obviously still a few more ahead. but the margins are quite significant. I'm really interested to see what happens when Colin pits and where this driver is in comparison to him. Two Ukrainian drivers battling for P6 and P7. Colin heads, is he staying out? Yep, he's staying out and doing more laps. Is Colin going to try and go for the soft tyres here then? Now, that would be something. And I would love it if he did. That would be a great strategy call, with Spanias coming out on the hards. I'd love to see his degradation, to see if he's been conserving his tyres or not. As I said, I feel like he's got a lot of pace left in the bag, staying behind the leader for, well, the opening 10 laps and more of this race. Not sure how the softs would cope, but I think if he can do another 3 laps, he would definitely be able to get himself on those soft tyres. He knows what he's doing, man. Trusted Colin knows exactly what he's doing on this game. So gaps starting to appear all over the place in this pit window. Obviously once all the cars have come in, we'll get a better idea of the shape up for the final 10 laps. But for now, we keep our eyes on our number 1 guy. Definitely aiming for the soft tyre strategy, which could be very key come the end of this race. Alex comes into pit off the alternate strategy onto the medium tyres, so he'll have some pace again in the latter part of this race. I'm just readjusting my seat, make myself a little bit more comfortable, get that bad boy slid back, there we go, stretch my legs out. Oh, it's way better. Why haven't I done this before? Oh, wow, okay, I'm comfortable now. So let's see, how many more drivers? Just a few more front runners yet to stop. Anthony staying out on those hards, obviously going long. A couple of the Ukraine drivers there staying out also on the medium tyre. So just these 2 guys staying out on the mediums. They must also be considering the soft tyre strategy. And there's a move there by someone. It's Westy dropping a position. He'll be right up behind him. Ooh, that's close. Bit of a connection issue, but he's close, and he'll probably get the move done into turn 4, maybe. He's got nothing in terms of electrical power, but he stays behind. Let's ride on, see if he gets the move done. He's very close as they head through the S's. I've learnt not to commentate on what is rubber banding, because it's never really that clear. So I just prefer to wait and see what happens, and he hasn't made the move count. Oh, and he's gone a little bit deep. Unfortunate for him there, he's not going to be able to get the move done at the end of going into turn 11 or 10. Again, where is Colin now? Going out for another lap. And he's got a 16, nearly a 17, is it? Or is that? No, that's, let's do leader. Does that actually change anything? Yeah, so he's got a 17-second gap to the net leader. And if anyone in chat knows what the average pit time is, then do let me know, because we can do the maths. If he was 8 seconds behind when Spinias went into the pits, then we might be able to figure out how close he's going to be and how much time he's gained. Yeah, so we've got a couple of guys saying it. Well, it will be somewhere around 21. It's so. Yeah, he's gonna. He may have shaved off 3 or 4 seconds by staying out, and he's gonna pick up DRS, I believe, from the driver that he's about to lap, which is great news. That'll get him a couple of tenths down the next few straights, unless of course he gets past him sooner rather than later, which I'm sure he will. It looks like, is that Bakker in trouble? Yeah, Bakker is in trouble of losing a position here, dropping out of the top 10. He's going to defend. DRS enabled on Q's car behind. He's going to stay where he is. Again, Collins picked up more DRS. That's 2 of the 3 DRS zones that he's used, which again will help him shave off time towards Spanias. And once Collins on those soft tyres, you never know, he could be blistering the green. He will be blistering the quick, and that's a mistake by Bakker. A little squirm there. He's kept the position briefly, but who's going to get the better exit? Bakker holds the position. Good recovery there after the little shake. Is that Colin in? Yeah, that's Colin in. So let's confirm then. Soft tyres, there they are. Soft tyres getting strapped up on the Team RPM car as he heads down the pit lane. So let's watch Spanias. He's past Colin in the pits, and let's see what time he has to build up in the final 10 laps of this race. Oh, and he's lost a position. Oh no, Alex was always with him anyway, wasn't he? But he pitted, so, and he's on mediums. He's going to be on old hards. Uphill battle now then from Colin. He's got 2 guys to overtake him. If there's any sort of team strategy here, Alex will try and hold him up and have Spanias extend the gap while those hard tyres are still functional. And from Colin's perspective, he needs to get the move done as soon as possible. Otherwise, as we saw with Jonesy at the start of the race, he's going to have an ineffective soft run. So still only a couple of drivers staying out, and they will all be on hard tyres, I'd imagine. These guys are still out on mediums. They must be coming at the end of the lifespan, surely. If Collins come in, they've got to come in this lap. Collins says, no, I'm not going to bother following you over to the right hand side of the track. I'm just going to minimise the distance and keep it in a straight line. And he's not going to have DRS. Interestingly. No DRS. And he's off the fastest sector 3 time. Let's get it back to the interval pod so we can see who's close there. Bakker could be in trouble from behind once again as both the Ukrainian drivers come in to change. Doesn't look like he's going to be in a position to make a move, so Bakker moves back up into P8, what will potentially be P7 once Sasimone pits. But again, he'll probably go onto the soft tyres, and there's an issue. What's going on? Is that just pit stops? Yeah, that's just pit stops. Westy picks up 2 more positions, still close behind Vova there, as he was when we last left him. Still squirmy at the rear there, just caught that from the onboard of Ku here. Bakker just a little touchy outstep there of the rear. Entity's finally pitted off of those hard tyres, and he will go onto the softs, I'm sure. Yes, he does, of course. Colin then, right up behind him. He needs to get the move done going into turn 1 for sure. He's so much faster in a straight line. No DRS down that portion of the track. And he was gaining and gaining and gaining, so he will absolutely get the move done. He's using all of his ERS So now, here we go. Colin moves back into P2. The gap, 5.5 seconds. 8 laps to go. He needs to gain 0.6 seconds on Spanias per lap. Now Spanias has been on those tyres for 8 laps. Colin's tyres will be 10 laps old come the end of the race. It's not off the cards yet. 0.6 of a second per lap from fresh softs to, you know, medium deck hard tyres. It's definitely not off the cards for a late move for Colin to take the lead of the race, so this could get spicy. See where he is and how he's coping. Spanias at the front. 4 drivers there with some time penalties. I believe they are all 3-second time penalties. Yes, they are. But Entity is too far behind to make anything out of that. So again, is this Colin coming around the final corner? Yes. He's not going to pick up DRS from the back marker ahead, but he will eventually. Fingers crossed he times that right and gets at least a couple of straights worth of DRS while he tries to gain on this car. It's now 4.2 seconds. He's gained more than what he needed to in that last lap alone. This is definitely on the cards. 4.1 now with 7 laps to go, only half a second per lap now. He shaved his average down by 1/10 of a second. There's a spinner coming out the final corner, and there's a battle there between Westy and is that a back marker, or is he getting all involved with them? We've got 2 Ukrainian drivers going side by side. One comes off to cut off Westy. Great battle there towards the back of the pack. Westy going to look for a move. He's going to look around the outside. It's hard v soft. If he gets this move done, then fair play. Colin, 3.8 seconds. He's shaving off so much time every lap. This is great. This is amazing. I don't want to give it all to Colin, but I mean, let's look at this. The back marker doesn't stand a chance. He gets out the way nicely. There's an issue for the Italian driver back there. I don't want to cut away. I'm going to, again, see Colin gaining. Obviously, he's used most of his ERS. You don't often see that. He's usually quite conservative. But in this case, he needs to get on with it, which is exactly what he's doing. So, 3.4 seconds the gap. 6 laps to go. Closing every single lap. And Spanias will know that. will know that. Still needs half a second every single lap until the end of this until the end of this race. Then he needs to get the overtake done. Now, as I alluded to again earlier, he's been right in his gearbox for the first 12 laps of this race. So we knew he was quicker, but he wasn't actually able to overtake him on track. And if it wasn't for that mistake, it would be done already, I'm sure. Spanias will soon be seeing him in his rear view, if not just gone there. He knows it's coming, and one mistake on those hard tyres will cost him the victory in this opening round of the Nations Cup. Westy and Jones holding what they've got there nicely with a 7-second gap to P15, so Westy could potentially make up a position a second behind Vova, but again, looks like they're just going to hold out. Bakker is also too far behind Ranello and has a significant margin to the car in P8. So again, he's holding what he's got. All eyes just on Colin. Is he going to pick up DRS off that car ahead? Maybe not. No, unfortunately not. Oh wait, that's not even Colin. This is Colin. That was so funny. Thankfully, Spanias didn't pick up DRS. Oh no, who's that? Is it Entity? Yes, it's Entity. Had a spin, okay. I mean, no disrespect, but at least it wasn't Packer, because we need as many points as we can get. So unfortunately for Entity, he's had another spin. This time on the soft tyres. Not a night for him to remember. But the other guys seem to be keeping it together nicely with their own little gaps. Yeah. Difficult section through Sector 2. A lot of corners that can quite easily catch you out. The gap now, 2.4 seconds. He's soon going to be within DRS, and it's going to be a fight to the finish. Absolutely. 4 laps to go when they cross the line. And he's got DRS off the drag, off the back marker. And he'll get the slightest hint of a little toe as well. This is all going in the favour of Colin. Set up for a grandstand finish on the soft tyres. Lap wise, let's just double check. 6 laps, so the softs are getting there, but they'll still be okay. They'll be okay till the end of the race. Colin's long stint on the medium tyres assured us of that. Now Entity is about to be lapped by the leaders. Let's hope he gets lapped before Spanias takes advantage of a DRS zone. Let's see. You shouldn't have it here. I don't think you should have it here. No DRS here. Colin won't either. Spanias has a hell of a lot of DRS though. That could be the downfall. He can defend with that 50% ERS. I doubt Colin's listening to the stream, but if he is, then there you go, 50% ERS, so you can be aware of that when you come to make a move. Using on exit there to get the initial speed up. And Colin's not quite within DRS range again. And he hasn't taken too much time out of him in that last lap. Into turn 1 they go together. 1.3 seconds the gap. It was all looking so good, but now I've realised about that ERS. It's not going to be as easy as we'd hoped. That mistake proving to be, unfortunately, very costly in the long term. Boosty pits again, late pit stop. Not sure what tyres he's going onto there. Off the mediums onto some soft tyres. Was that his first stop? Surely he's stopped once before. Oh, he's made 3 stops. Jesus. Fair enough. Now, Colin will pick up DRS off this back marker, our back marker, which is good. He'll get past him. And he's got DRS, which will help ever so slightly. I would imagine Spanias is defending with a bit of DRS. He's been using it over the course of the last lap. But it's not over yet. Colin will have his own DRS now. No need for back markers. He's well within the range. 2/10 within the range. So he's going to pick it up. Now here we go. The final 2 laps of this race. First round of the Nations Cup. Colin chasing Spanias. Rest of the drivers all with fairly big margins. Not much else to cover. Ronaldo could be making a move on G-Max, but we don't care about that. We care about the lead of the race and our driver. Be interesting to see the degradation again. Those softs will be coming towards the end of the lifespan. The hards could still be okay. And he's still got plenty of ERS to defend with. Did Colin stay? No, Colin didn't manage to stay within DRS, so that's time lost there. It's looking less and less likely. Unless there's a mistake. We watch on, and we cross our fingers, and hope that he can make a last lap effort for the lead. Manifest it, boys. Manifest it in chat, and it will happen. So we enter the final lap then. Our boys P2, 7, 12, 13 and 18. All round a good effort. Good finish by Bakker. Let's just check the position changes. Westy up 6 places. Good result from him, from P18 up to P12. The biggest gainer of the race. And rightly so. A good nominee for driver of the day, as Spritzy's mentioned. Colin closing in, but again 2/10 the margin there to DRS. He's not going to get it. Wisty picks up a late 3-second time penalty after his 3rd pit stop. But we head now down the final back straight before the final 2 corners of this circuit. Spanias has had a great lead. He's led from the lap 1 all the way to the checker flag. He comes over to the right hand side, celebrates with his team and crosses the line. Colin, after that mistake, entering the 2nd sector, picks up P2. He'll be disappointed with that. He knew he had the pace to overtake, and it was a great call on the strategy to take those soft tyres. Wasn't quite enough in the end after the little slip, but nonetheless a great result there. The rest of the top 5 go to the Greek team. A great evening for them. Alex, Nick and G-Max. Ronaldo, the leader of the Italian drivers, in P6. Bakker heads around the final corner to pick up P7. A great result and some great points, finishing where he started on the grid. He'll be pleased enough with that. Now Q comes across the line for the final Italian team, and Boba close behind him, the first of the Ukrainians. Vova the second, the Ukrainian cars. Westy and Jones cross the line in P12 and P13, rounding off 4 of the 5 of our drivers. For Villa heading now the 3rd of the Italians, and the rest of the Ukrainians heading down the back straight now. Solari, Toshilov and Nakudza, with Entity rounding off down in P17 or 18. Yes, P18. Unfortunate evening for Entity. A few mistakes on the opening stint and one on the soft stint. Bakker picks up driver of the day. Good result. At least maybe that counts for something. And I think the fastest lap went to Colin in the end. So if that's on the point system, then we'll pick up another point for that. He's on the podium. It is not the top step for him this time. That goes to the Greek driver. Although he's got a Cypriot flag, so perhaps that's Team Greece, but the Cypriot driver of Spanias, Colin in P2, so all round some good points all. So thanks for all of you guys in the chat, and plenty of interaction. 70 comments have flown in throughout the night, so it's been good to catch up with most of them, and some consistent viewership, which is very good. So very grateful for you guys coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, good stuff. I don't have any details on the next round of this, or if there is going to be another round. I don't have anything, so we wait and see what gets announced in the Discord. But for the time being, that's us done. We'll see you on track on Monday for Spa's practice and then we'll join the guys on Tuesday night for the race in the senior division. That's it from me then. See you guys next week.